I'm phenomenally proud of our sustainability project here at the brewery. Having a small footprint and showing environmental stewardship is really important to me in the company that I work for, because it's very important to me in my personal life as well. So I think it's one of the greatest aspects of what we do here at Sierra Nevada, second only to the quality of the beer that we brew.
Working with Sierra Nevada Brewery in what's called the feedlot phase, where we actually feed cattle for the brewery itself. Defining sustainability is not as simplistic as people would like it to be. It's very complex. We try really hard to say it's really a three-legged stool, and that people need to understand that it includes economics as a critical component, environmental sustainability, which is a critical component, and then cultural sustainability.
It is and still is the first and only hot rot system in the United States, which we're pretty excited about. It is an in-vessel composting system. We're feeding it any organic waste that we're producing on site, mostly food waste leaving our restaurant, both pre and post-consumer, so any plate scrapings, kitchen prep, all the food waste really leaving our restaurant goes in, as well as any spent hops from the brewing process, as well as spent grain, some of it that we screen out of our wastewater treatment plant. The way it works basically is everything gets kind of loaded into the main feed hopper and then automatically fed in and dropped down into this main unit where the composting takes place. Once inside, there's this main motor down here at the end. That's driving a central shaft that runs the entire length of the unit. It's got tines on it, and it'll slowly rotate the material one way and then slowly reverse it back, just agitating and really aerating the material. But we don't have to add any heat. It heats up to about 130 degrees in there. So again, just super efficient, all enclosed. You don't smell anything, and we're getting out about 1,000 pounds a day of finished compost. So it ends up being about a 50% reduction once it goes through the process. Unfortunately, there was nowhere for us to send our food waste in Northern California, so we decided to purchase our own in-vessel system. So this is not only helping us divert more material from the landfill and increase our diversion rate, we have a use for that compost. We can create our own sort of soil food to grow more food and grow more hops out on site on our fields. But it also really is a climate change. Put it into an aerobic process where it gets that air, it's broken down naturally. We've got our shaker table here. We're screening out the good compost from the stuff that we don't want, the wood chips, the bones, any contamination. But in here falls the good stuff. So again, 2 weeks ago, this was raw pasta, mashed potatoes, meat trimmings, leftovers from people's plates, bread, whatever. Anything you can think of that was compostable. 2 weeks ago, this was raw, fresh stuff, and now it's nice, fluffy, kind of dirt compost-like stuff. Basically, this fills up every day. Then we take it out to the field, we pile it up, let it sit for a few weeks, and then it's ready to go onto the garden, the hop field, pretty much anywhere we want to use it. And one way to reduce all that methane coming out of landfills is just to keep that organic waste out of the landfill, which is what creates the methane in the first place. Put it in an aerobic process and grow more food with it.
We use the compost throughout the program. We're working on including it in our potting media. Likewise, we spread it in the field along with rock mineral. Another aspect is that we have to take the compost, have it analyzed, look at the composition, and then from there we can determine what additional fertilizers, what we might need to complement our soils. Weed management is a big thing. In a conventional system, commonly they'll just come through and spray out weeds, and we use a handful of cultural practices, hand pulling, machine cultivation, and just good cover cropping practices to help reduce the amount of weeding work we have to do. In the field right now, you'd find multicolored carrots, parsnips, multicolored turnips. Now coming into our third summer of growing, we're really starting to dial it into the regards where I know if I plant this much row space, it's gonna adequately meet the needs of the kitchen and they won't need to order it all summer long. So we're really coming of our own, kind of coming of age here in the garden where things are finally starting to settle in and we have a good working relationship.
So the actual cost of what it costs to produce as a startup garden are a little higher than what I can buy the stuff commercially, but the quality of the product is what's really important. And I don't really focus on the price, I focus on the quality and the travel miles. So I'm willing to pay a premium for a product that comes from a local area less than 100 miles around us. I'm willing to pay a premium for that. The product is better. We keep our dollars in our valley, and that's really what it's all about.
Organics are special because they, one, they're doing a great thing for the earth by not putting all those chemicals into the earth. But I think the product's better. I think it's the timeline on receiving the product, especially we pick the products in the morning, we're using them that afternoon. It just makes for a better vegetable.